செல்ஃபி கேமரா பேக் கேமரா வரல.
இந்த பேக் எல்லாம் எடுத்து எங்கேயாச்சும் ஹைட் பண்ற மாதிரி
என்ன பண்றீங்க? அருணா அவன் வரத்துக்குலாம் லேட் ஆகுங்க.
காப்பி பண்ணி
ஜீவிதா ஆமா ஒரு வீடியோ என்ன
லைவ் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு. நோடா இந்த லிங்க் ஷேர் பண்றேன். இது இந்த லிங்க் காப்பி பண்றேன். இப்ப அந்த லிங்க் இதை கட் பண்ணு. இது எதுக்கு நான் எக்ஸ்ட்ரா இன்னொருத்தரோட ஃபோன் வச்சிருக்கேன்.
டேய் ஒரு சேர் போட்டு உட்காந்து. ஓகேவா தெரியுதா? ஆஃப் பண்ணா ஸ்ட்ரீம் ஆகல. என்ன பண்ண ஸ்க்ரீன் டைமிங்
ஹெச்டி மேம் யூடியூப் லிங்க் சென்ட் பண்ணி யூடியூப் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாம். டேய் யூடியூப் அனுப்பிடுறோம். லிங்க் இது கேக்குது.
இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்ணியாச்சா டைமிங்?
A little reality is a time version for the component of leadership. To provide study by studying RD ಇವರೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ problem change. அவைகளுக்கும் ஆண்களுக்கும் சான்றோருக்கும் பெரியவர்களுக்கும் மற்றும் மாணவர்கள் அனைவருக்கும் அடுத்து வளர்கிறது. A very warm welcome to the audience. This is not Olivia, TV and University Party for Women. Happy to have a time to for one day we have to go to in association of children and our regulators. In the presence of life, darkness has no choice to exist. Yes, it's time to reach the darkness by going to life. I was our honorable secretary, Madam Principal, available director, and the honorable guest to represent the women's autonomy by enlightening the land. Please go. Please come. The sustainability of women's autonomy is enlightened by a guest of honor of places. Enlightened by our honorable secretary, Madam Principal, Dr. E. Palpatine. Enlightened by today's visit coordinator, Dr. M. Patel. I request the participants to the gathering to enter the lamp of sustainability. I request the other college participants to come on the way to the outside college. Gurunara College, have your presence now? MCC College? I request them to stay with the ma'am, Dr. Ma'am, to come to the diet. The sustainability of women's autonomy is enlightened by Dr. Jayasudha Ma'am, Department of English, Shift 1. A day without a prayer is a day without a blessing. Arif was a gathering to write for the prayer song to seek the blessing from the heavenly God.
நீராரும் கடலுடைந்த நிலமடந்த கிளியொடுக்கும் சீராரும் நகரமிக திகழ்வருட தெக்கனவும் மதல் சிறந்த நாவிடனும் திருநாடும் தக்கமிட பிறை நுதரும் கரைத்தனரும் அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் வணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனுக்கே தமிழனுக்கே உன் சீரிழமை திரும்பி என்று செய்யப்படந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே. सरस्वती ताये सरस्वती ताये कलैवाणी ताये कलैवाणी ताये कल्वी करसी इंपारमे கலை நீலயம் இது தழைத்திட வேண்டும் கலை நீலயம் இது தழைத்திட வேண்டும் கலையை கொடும் மனித செழித்திட வேண்டும் நிகழ்ச்சி இனிதே நிறைவுற நிகழ்ச்சி இனிதே நலம் பெற உங்கள் எமக்கிங்கே வேண்டும் தாயே சரஸ்வதி தாயே சரஸ்வதி தாயே கலைவாணி தாயே கலைவாணி தாயே கலை கலசி நின்பாரவே சரணம் சரணம்.
Thank you, dear. Music is a powerful meditation for the heart and soul. Yes, it's time to listen to the music. Thank you. That was amazing one. Welcome is our creed and welcoming is our bride. Now I invite Dr. S. Saraswata, convener of Genesis, to hold the creed and bride. Please now. Good morning. It is with great pleasure and honor I welcome you all for the one-day international conference on the topic retrofitting and sustainability in women's autonomy, organized by General Cell of DRBCC Hindu College in association with Siravu Empowering Women and NGO organization. I pray Almighty and our beloved founders to shower their blessings on this whole day for a successful completion of this conference. I feel grateful here for the presence of our Honorable Secretary, Sir, Shri Venkatesh Perumal, Sir. Hearty welcome, Sir. It's my privilege to welcome our guests for this occasion, Dr. K.G. Kavya, Consultant, Anesthesiology, Apollo Hospitals, Nagaram. Welcome, ma'am. I feel proud to welcome our beloved Principal Madam, Dr. G. Kalvikarasi, who is a strong woman of this institution. Welcome, ma'am. I take great honor to welcome our Director, Dr. Rajendra Naidu, sir, who is a truly remarkable individual with an unwavering dedication. I welcome you. I take this opportunity to welcome all the participants, not only from the Hindu College, we have participants from Bhutan and various other colleges from Singapore, Malaysia, and Bhutan. So I welcome all the participants for this competition, and I extend my welcome to all the staff members and my lovable students. As we gather from various corners of the globe, we are united by a common purpose to exchange knowledge, foster collaboration, and tackle the challenges of our time. This conference serves as a platform for scholars, researchers, academicians, and students to come together, share insights, and chart the course for a bright future. Our diversity in background, perspectives, and expertise is our strength as it fuels innovation and drives progress. I encourage each and every one of you to actively participate, engage yourself, and forge meaningful connection with oneself, with one and each other. Once again, I welcome you all to the conference of retrofitting and sustainability in women's autonomy. I wish all great women in the world a happy Women's Day. May our time together be productive, enrichable, and memorable. I welcome again, once again, welcome all. Thank you. Thank you, sir. The root of all goodness lies in the soil of appreciation. Yes, it's time to felicitate the honorable dignitary of Diane. I request Madam Principal, beloved Dr. G. Kalvikarasi, ma'am, Our beloved Director, Dr. N. Rajendra Naidu, sir, to felicitate our Honorable Secretary. Please, sir. Please, ma'am. I request our Honorable Secretary to felicitate our guest of honor for today's session, Dr. K.J. Kavya ma'am, Anesthesian, Apollo Hospital. Please, sir. I also request our beloved Honorable Secretary to felicitate our Madam Principal, Dr. G. Kavikaranti ma'am, and our beloved Director, Dr. S. Rajendra Naidu, sir. Please, sir. Now, our Madam Principal is felicitated by our Honorable Secretary. Thank you, sir. Our beloved Director is felicitated by our beloved Honorable Secretary. Thank you, sir. If your action is inspired by others to do more, to learn more, to become more, then you are a leader. Yes, it's right time to lend an ear to the leader of this esteemed institution, our Honorable Secretary, Sri M. Venkaresa Perumal, sir. Sir, I invite you for the presentation. Yes, sir.
Namaskar to the founder couple, Dharmamurthy Kalavikar and Setigaru Setumagar. Good morning to everybody. Respected Dr. K.J. Kavya, anesthetist, Apollo Specialty Hospital, Swaminathan, Chennai. Respected Principal Dr. Kalvikar Singh, respected Director Dr. Rajendra Naidu, Dr. N. Swarnalata, Convener, Gender Cell, Organizing Committee members, faculty members, participants, invitees. I thank one and all for being present here. I wish everyone a happy International Women's Day. Today is the day to remember and celebrate the strength, resilience, and achievements of women's world. There with the Hindu College always has upheld gender equality and has taken various steps to make space more inclusive and supportive. The gender cell of DRPCC Hindu College is an active extension wing of the college, which has tried to create awareness among the staff, students, and the public about gender sensitivity and inclusivity. It is heartening to know that the Gender Cell in association with Siragu, the NGO has taken the initiative to organize this one-day international conference on the theme of retrofitting and sustainability in women's empowerment. I am sure that the discussions that happen today will empower every woman and girl to realize their full potential. Today, I also would like to remember the life and times of Sita Magara, who along with her husband our founder Kalavikar Setigaru promoted girls' education. I once again wish everyone a happy International Women's Day and hope this event will be a successful one and the international conference will throw light on and will give many inputs to all of us. I congratulate the department concerned and the principal director for the initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. As strong women do not show attitude, but have standards, confidence, courage, love. Here we present the most relatable, confident, and lovable person of DRPCC Hindu College, our Madam Principal, to present the keynote address. Please, ma'am. Invoking the blessings of our founder couple, Kalavela Kandanseti Garu and Sitama Garu, and invoking the blessings of Goddess Saraswati. Most esteemed chief guest of the inaugural session, Dr. Bhavya KJ. The invited speaker was joined us today, Dr. M.S. Sri Lakshmi, respected secretary, respected director, respected convener of the gender cell, Dr. Sannalagam, the participants of the conference, the faculty members who joined us today. Happy Women's Day greetings to you all. The gender cell of our college was started in the year 2008. For the past 15 years, the gender cell has been bringing up very dynamic activities to sensitize the students on the gender issues, on the victimization, and also to empower them with various activities. So along with sensitizing the students, a lot of workshops and training sessions are being reported under the benevolence of our management. The management always assert gender equality in the campus, and hence they take a very exclusive view on the girls being empowered, and hence all our programs have been taking this idea of inclusivity where women could take up courage and walk their path. The gender cell today is organizing the international conference in association with Siragu Empowering Women, the NGO, which is catering to various activities that would help in the growth of the women. The guest speakers have been selected on the basis of several objectives. To state, Dr. Bhavya KJ would speak on women and health. Dr. S. Chitra, the guest speaker, who will be joining online, is an assistant professor in English from Royal University of Bhutan. And she will be talking on the marginalized class of women. Professor Dr. Komal Aditya is an academician who is joining us from the University of Rajasthan. She will speak on women and international law. Dr. M.S. Sri Lakshmi, who worked as a lecturer in Singapore University of Social Sciences, National Institute of Education, Nanyang Technological University, and Indian Studies Department, University of Malaya, has joined us and made a physical presence. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming on the day. And we have Vedant Raj Lohiya, the founder and CEO of Siragu, who will be joining us for the valedictory session. He is a social entrepreneur who is just 26 years old, who conceptualized the idea of Siragu in 2018 for empowering women, and around 500 women and 25,000 families are being benefited by this. So, Vedant is a postgraduate in financial technology from Imperial College Business School, London. We are really honored and to have received the consent from all the prestigious guest speakers from all over the world who are joining us in the celebration of Women's Day. I take this opportunity to thank our management for providing us the full support, and also the director who had been sitting with us when we were conceptualizing the idea of bringing in this international conference today when we are celebrating the International Women's Day, that is on March 8th. I take this opportunity to thank all the guest speakers who have joined online for this conference, and wish that all the deliberations of the conference would focus more on retrofitting and sustainability in women's autonomy. I wish the women would work with more courage and with more sense of clarity so that we will be able to conquer the world. That's vision. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Knowing things is better. Knowing things from a known person is far better. Now I invite our beloved director, Dr. N. Rajendra Naidu, sir, a right person for the conference, who is bundled with knowledge and wisdom. Sir, I invite you to this meeting.
Wish you all a women's happy day on the occasion of International Women's Day. Dr. R.K. Kavya, anesthetist, Apollo Specialty Hospitals, Managaram. Dr. M.S. Sri Lakshmi, former professor from Singapore University, who is seated in the participants front. Respected Principal, Dr. G. Kallikar C. Respected Dr. N. Sanulata, Convener, General, faculty members, and student participants and other participants. I am glad to participate in the one-day international conference on retrofitting and sustainability in women's autonomy being organized by General Cell of our college in association with Siragu Empowering Women and NGO. The General Cell was started in our college about 15 years ago, along with several other extension activities like NSS, NCC, and so on. Since then, General Cell has been conducting a number of programs, and as a pinnacle, today they are conducting international conference on the occasion of International Women's Day. Our secretary, Sri Venkatesh Perumal, with the support of back support of our management, have been supporting many international programs. Series of international conferences are being encouraged by our management with the sole aim of benefiting participants. The programs which benefit our students and participants are always supported by our beloved management, and there are many more proposals coming for international conferences for the end of this academic year and next year as well. I hope the sessions, 4 sessions, 2 in the forenoon, 2 in the afternoon, will be of interest and beneficial to the participants. The intention of conducting universal conference is to benefit students. At the end of the day, I wish that we will go with full of information which you gather from here. And I especially thank Dr. Kavya for having spared her time and accepted our invitation to preside over and inaugurate the one-day conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Coming together is a beginning. Meeting together is a progress. Working together is a success. Yes, it's time to reward a success by lifting a conference proceeding from ISDN program. I request the honorable delegates on the dais to make the event more special by lifting the conference proceeding. Please, sir. Now, our traditional Dr. N. Sankrata is presenting the proceeding to our honorable guest of today's session, Dr. Kavya ma'am. Our honorable secretary receives the proceeding. Our honorable director receives the proceeding. Our madam principal receives the proceeding. Madam Sri Lakshmi ma'am is invited to the dais. Please, ma'am. Madam Sri Lakshmi ma'am from Singapore. On behalf of the principal, I take the privilege to thank the everybody online who made the event very successful. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all around. Honor your guests by using words to help them to stand out in the crowd. Now I invite Dr. Jasmine Sugandhi ma'am, Assistant Professor, Department of Accounting and Finance, to introduce our honorable guest, Dr. K.J. Kavya ma'am.
Good morning to one and all. It gives me an immense pleasure to introduce our today's speakers, Dr. Kavya, MD, DNB, Anesthesiology, Consultant, Apollo Specialty Hospital, Vadagaram, Chennai. She had MBBS from Key Force Medical College, Master degree in Anesthesiology from Stanley Medical College. She has more than 15 years of medical and academic experience in the field of anesthesiology, intensive care, and pain management. Her passionate about travel and history. She is a bookworm with a love for classical music. Once again, I welcome you, ma'am. Thank you. Happy Women's Day to all. Have a nice day. Now I hand over the session to Dr. Kavya. Welcome, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. First and foremost, I would like to wish all women here a very happy Women's Day. It's my distinct honor and privilege to meet all of you in this conference, which is on recruitment, sustainability, women's opportunity. This is to commemorate the International Women's Day in this college. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all the honorary dignitaries on stage, Mr. Vinity Srinath, College Secretary, Dr. Rajendra Naidu, the Director, Dr. Kalvi Sarasi, Principal, and also the convener, Dr. Dharmendra. Thank you so much for inviting me here. Today, we come together to celebrate International Women's Day. This is just not a day for celebration, it's a call to duty. Because women face a lot of inequalities in healthcare, access to healthcare, in economic opportunities, and leadership activities. So, to call out on all these gender inequalities and to make sure we have a commitment to advancing gender equality in all spheres of life, we all have to make a commitment towards it. And we have to redouble our efforts to make sure we have access to proper healthcare. I would like to talk about mostly women's health and their well-being. What do you think is women's health and well-being? It is the physical, mental, social, and emotional well-being. It's not just being physically healthy. You have to be mentally healthy, emotionally healthy. All this will lead to an increase in the quality of life. So there are various factors that determine your health. It is just not your physical health. So being educated, not having any poverty, having an awareness about social programs, having a financial empowerment, all these determine women's health. The global burden of women's health, the diseases that affect women, only 5% of them are gynecological diseases. The rest of them are diseases that are non-communicable disease, cancers. So it is not, women's health is just not focused on gynecological disease. It is also focused mostly on non-communicable disease as well as cancers. Cardiovascular death is the leading cause of death in women. It's surprising that the leading cause of death is a non-communicable disease in women. About 35% of the mortality in the world in women is due to cardiovascular disease. It's always thought that heart disease is only seen in men. It is not so. In India, there is a rising heart disease in women population, and this rising heart disease is due to multiple factors. Problem is, Indian women have an increased incidence of diabetes. It's a genetic prevalence. This diabetes causes an increased risk of cardiovascular disease. Also, hypertension and being physically inactive and morbidly obese, all these are risk factors for cardiovascular disease. So you need to know all these risk factors because once you know these risk factors, you can modify your lifestyle changes. So you can cause an increase in your cardiovascular risk. So once you realize that there is a risk, you should do things to make sure that you don't have this risk. So what are the things that you can do to make a healthy living? So first and foremost, make sure that you sleep properly every day. Do not skip honestly because sleep causes your emotional well-being. Make sure that women have good hormonal balance. Once you sleep well, always make sure that you have at least 20 minutes of physical activity. Because physical activity, that is what makes sure that you have a proper weight management as well as controls your diabetes. And if you're diabetic or if you're not diabetic, make sure that you get screened for it. Once you realize you're a diabetic, make sure your sugars are under control. Screen for your cholesterol levels. If your cholesterol levels are high, make lifestyle modification so that you can bring your cholesterol levels down. Also, there are various carcinomas present in women. Most common among them is your breast cancer and cervical cancer. So I want all women present here to make sure that you get screened for cervical cancer. Also, make sure that your parents, your mother, your relatives who are women can get screened for the disease. Screening is very important carcinoma, cancer. You know why? Because early detection makes sure that these cancers are preventable. When it comes to cervical cancer, you are all aware that cervical cancer is a totally preventable disease. It's caused by the human papilloma virus. So this virus comes in contact with us, skin-to-skin contact. And once you're infected, sometimes the body makes sure that to destroy the virus. But in some people, this virus is not destroyed. So what it leads eventually is multiplies and leads to cancer lesion. There is a vaccine for human papilloma virus. So everyone in the age group of 9 to 12 years can take this vaccine for human papilloma virus. Once taken, this virus prevents the HPV from replication. And cervical cancer cannot happen in those individuals. But people who are in the 20 to 26 years of age can still take this vaccine. They may be already being infected with human papilloma, but still you can take 2 doses. And other HPV, there are multiple variants of HPV. If you're not infected with other variants, they may help in preventing it. This human papilloma virus, the government of India is bringing in for universal implementation. That means all kids which are in 9 to 12 years will now be eligible to take human papilloma virus because our aim is to completely eliminate cervical cancer. Once all the kids in 9 to 12 years are vaccinated with HPV, there will be a 90% reduction in cervical cancer incidence, which is like saving 3 million people, women, from dying of cervical cancer. And this is the need of the hour. So this program is going to be implemented because the HPV is now an optional vaccine, but I think all of you should get your human papilloma virus vaccine as early as possible. Also, same thing with breast cancer. Screening mammogram should be done by all parents, all your older women, like from 45 years, make sure that you get a mammogram done. Mammogram is just an X-ray of the breast, and you can do it every year. It detects breast cancer very early. So once breast cancer is detected early, it's very easy to treat, either by surgery, hormonal therapy, chemotherapy. There is so much innovations that they have done in healthcare and technology that you have treatments to cure these cancers if detected early. So the cardinal thing is now to detect everything early. So I want all of you women here to have your screening for mammograms, the breast X-rays, for your cervical cancer, to get your HPV, and also to make sure that you get your pap smear. Pap smear is nothing but just a biopsy of your cervix, which can be done every 5 years or every 3 years. Once you've done your pap smear and it's normal, then you ensure that you will not be getting these carcinomas. So it gives you freedom from having whether you will have these cancers or not. And above all these, make sure all your profiles for like cholesterol, BP, or sugar, everything should be within normal range. Or even if it's not normal, try to control it with medication. All these is to ensure that women have a healthy being. And because once you're healthy, what happens is you have more time to concentrate on other stuff, so you can realize your full potential. Once women are healthy, this leads to their well-being with children. So when children are better, it leads to a better future generation. And once you have more active participation of women, it increases the economy. The economic improvement leads to prosperity of the nation. And if the nation is prosperous, it leads to a healthier planet. So all these are because there's an improvement in women's health. So that is what we should strive for, and that is what we should all try to realize. And sometimes what happens is when there is poor health, this is not just necessarily because of the health of the patient or because of the health of the patient. There are other multiple determining factors. And mainly this is due to poverty. Because poverty reduces your access to healthcare. So even if you have a disease, can you go and reach the hospital? Are you able to afford to pay the money? So in this case, what helps is having a health insurance. Health insurance makes sure that you have good access to healthcare. But health insurances are not affordable by all folks. So what the government should do in this case is make health insurance affordable, or give them subsidies, or make sure that they financially assist women so that they can get health insurances that targets their reproductive health, like maternity care. But the government has subsidies for health insurance. All these treatments become easily affordable. If you can afford the treatment, you think women will not have their treatments done. So affordability plays a very important role to make sure that women get their health checked. You have multiple health government schemes, both the central government schemes and state health government schemes, that focuses predominantly on antenatal care, diagnostics, and also in reference to higher centers of high-risk pregnancies. The Tamil Nadu government has the Muthalakshmi Reddy maternity pregnancy scheme, where you have financial assistance for antenatal care. So all this will ensure so that you have a reduction in maternal mortality. So this maternal mortality is a primary health indicator. The number of deaths of women who are pregnant. It is a health indicator. It's a global health indicator. It's a national health indicator, and it's an indicator for sustainable development goals in the WHO organization. So what's the maternal mortality in India? In India, the maternal mortality is about 97 women die for every 100,000 women. And in Tamil Nadu, we have a maternal mortality of 52 women, pregnant women who died. So this is actually very high. Kerala has the lowest maternal mortality. Only 12 women, pregnant women, died during their pregnancy. So in Tamil Nadu and in India, we should try to bring this maternal mortality down. And how can we bring this maternal mortality down? This can be done by increasing access to healthcare, make sure that women do not have malnutrition during pregnancy. Anemia is the leading cause of death, maternal mortality during pregnancy, and also make sure that women have adequate financial assistance, make sure they have proper health personnel targeting them with their higher pregnancy, make sure they get referred to a higher center. All this can reduce your maternal mortality. Once the maternal mortality improves, this is a progress towards better women's health, and this is a progress for the nation. So any progress should be continuous. So we have done so much. There's a gradual improvement in women's health. But there's so much that we can do, and it needs lots of public-private partnerships. It's not the government can do it. You need people like NGOs to actively participate in all these schemes to make that every woman can get access to this healthcare and make sure that they develop their women's health and well-being. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. On behalf of the DRBC Hindu College, I invite Dr. V.S. Chitra ma'am and Dr. Goga ma'am, who is on live now. We welcome you, ma'am, for this one-day international conference. On behalf of Genesis, a budding kid of DRBC Hindu College for Corporate Department has painted our own way for the guest of today's session. I request Maheshwari to present a small gift which is made by her hand to Dr. Kavya ma'am. A handmade painting of Maheshwari. I also I request Maheshwari to present this to our beloved principal too. And share this our beloved secretary. Also to our beloved director. It's an honor done by our students. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Maheshwari. A cup of tea is a cup of tea. I request the gathering to partake in the refreshments arranged on the auditorium backside and also inform reasonable within 10 minutes for the second session. Catch you soon. Thank you. Participants can partake in the refreshments now.
அண்ணாவே இங்க வந்து உட்கார்ந்துருக்காங்கடா. அந்த பிள்ளைங்களை மட்டும் கொஞ்சம் அந்த இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் சொல்லிருங்க.
I request the participants to come and assemble in the auditorium. The participants are requested to assemble in the auditorium immediately for second session. Participants are requested to come to the auditorium. Here one announcement for the participants. Participants those who have not registered, those who are paid and not registered now, those who will receive your kit, kindly contact the register company immediately. The participants who have registered, paid, and not received your kit, kindly contact the register company immediately. Participants are requested to come to the auditorium immediately.
அங்க பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ணாத இல்லையா? சொல்லுங்க பச்சையில அடிக்கடி அசல் சொல்லுங்க.
Second session on Monday International Conference on Developing and Sustainability in Women's Economy in association with Siraga Empowering Women. Now I invite Professor Sita Lakshmi, Assistant Professor, Department of BCA, to introduce our guest for second session, hybrid mode. Please, ma'am.
Dr. S. Chitra is an assistant professor in English at Sherwood College, Royal University of Bhutan. Prior to it, she served in the extended campus of Sherwood College, and her assignment was with master's program in English. She supervised the research scholars and served as a program leader for academics and research. She holds 2 decades of tertiary teaching experience. Her service record includes teaching expertise in English literature and language, along with curriculum design and course development. Her areas of exploration include cultural studies, contemporary literature, post-colonial studies, European literature, women's gender studies, with avid interest to embrace the emerging areas in humanities. She has completed the following funded research projects: a study on English language proficiency level of the students of Sherwood College and resource requirements for the proposed learning center, and also a project funded by the Government of India titled A Study of Factors Affecting Faculty Attrition and Turnover Intention at Cherub College. The collaborative project with St. Joseph College on collection, transliteration, analysis, and publication of folklore from Eastern Bengal. The following are some of her meritorious academic achievements. She has conducted storytelling sessions as an initiative to promote folk traditions among the adolescents and to preserve the folk tales. She has also directed the Shakespearean tragedy Macbeth, and her team won the first prize with Cash Award, including the Best Actor and Actress Awards in the annual drama competition. In terms of research, Dr. Chitra Ma'am secured second position in the FastTrack project presentation and was awarded with cash prize, and Best Dissertation Certificate was awarded to her scholar for the master's dissertation titled Juxtaposition of Sexual and Ethnic Crisis in Shyam Selvathara's Funny Boy. I welcome you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for this very warm welcome. Ma'am, shall I play a video, ma'am? The recorded video? Yes, I would like to greet the audience there. Can you play after the brief reading? Yes, ma'am. All right. So thank you. This is a double privilege for me as a woman to be presenting on Women's Day, and also as a former faculty of Hindu College. It's a golden chance, a good opportunity for me to make my presentation on this day. It's a pleasure and a privilege for me. Honorable Secretary Sir, Shri M. Venkatesa Perumal Garu, Board of Trustees, esteemed Dr. N. Rajendra Naidu Garu, Director, respected Dr. G. Kalvi Kadasi Madam, my greetings to all of you. And then I move on, a notable speaker, different fields representing medical, education, economy and human provision, legal and literature, which are the pillars for the wholesome and holistic growth of women, and the gender cell for conceiving and materializing this idea into a reality on Women's Day. My heartfelt appreciation to each and every one, including the dignitaries who are present today physically from other institutions far and near, as well as heads and faculty members from other departments of the college, research scholars, paper presenters, dignitaries, and beloved students, boys and girls. I'm sending my greetings from Himalayas. Thank you for making me part of this event. This is a joyous reconnect for me. With these few words, kindly listen to the presentation that I have made and enjoy that. Thank you. Hearty congratulations to Gender Cell, DRDCC Hindu College, and Syracuse AGMO for coming up with this significant conference on the International Women's Day. Congratulations and best wishes. In order to align my topic with the larger theme of the conference, I have come up with subaltern talk and understanding of factors disrupting and mediating women. First, let me explain the term subaltern. Subaltern refers to anybody who is considered inferior in terms of race, class, caste, and gender. It connotes subordination, inferiority, authority, and defense. With this understanding, let me take you into the topic to deliberate on what is subaltern speech. A subaltern is one who can never represent themselves. In simple terms, they are voiceless, they are disempowered. That means they cannot represent themselves, but somebody who is in positions of power has to speak for them. They are always spoken for by those in positions of power. To supplement this, I bring C.K. Janu's autobiographical testimony known as Mother Forest, the unfinished story of C.K. Janu, published in 2004. This work is an example of Adivasi tribal fetish. Okay? So this testimony is presented to and written by Bhaskar in its Malayalam original as well as in its English translation. The text captures the complex and nuanced reality of this Adivasi female activist, a subaltern, in other words, who turned into an activist. Through the personal narration, Janu tells about her real struggles, and she also voices the harsh realities of the tribals of the Adiyar community in Kerala. What she comes across is the terrible fate of these tribals who are dispossessed of their agricultural land. They are removed from their forest and treated as outliers to the state's model development. The point here is the empty oceans of development and welfare prove easy explanations for their elimination. And Janu's autobiography in this sense, and in another sense, because she had been a one-time party cadre, she has been a one-time party cadre, and as a party cadre, she records her experiences by saying when she tried to present the condition of her community in the party circles, the speeches made in the party classes were completely different, and they tried their best not to let these people speak or to represent their case. This clearly shows how they were not allowed to represent themselves, and this work becomes a response. It's in fact a critical response to the problem of the suppressed speech of the subaltern and their disempowerment in terms of both caste and gender. This is linked to the most pivotal essay and the post-colonial work written by Gayatri Spivak in her essay titled Can the Subaltern Speak? In this essay, she gives a unique position to the subaltern from the deconstructionist feminist viewpoint. She talks about the element of speaking. Speaking here is understood as a transaction between a listener and a speaker. That is the meaning of voice and speech. Here, a very poor peasant says, who is a subaltern obviously, that his family does not have enough to eat, no matter how hard he works. The question comes, okay, who is listening to him? And will his complaint be heard in a way that he can effect change in his condition? And for Spivak, speech, especially subaltern speech, must transmit its message in order to result in action. But sadly, most of the time, it does not achieve this purpose. This is the ground foundation I lay for this talk. These are the three works I'm going to leave it. As I have introduced, Can the Subaltern Speak? Some elements, it is a framework for this presentation. And then the two main narratives, personal narratives I'm going to deal with are Half-Breed, a memoir by Maria Chandler, who belongs to a Indian Aboriginal community known as British. And then Mother Forest, the unfinished story of Sikhu, is from the Indian Adivasi community from Kerala. Now, the standpoint of Spivak has been challenged by subaltern women's writing. Are they not representing themselves? Can't they speak? And if they speak, are they not listened to? When oppressed people gain voice to represent themselves, and when they make a mark by talking about their predicament, this position of Spivak is getting challenged. But originally, the claim made by Spivak is that in the colonial context, the subaltern has no history, they cannot speak, and coming to subaltern females, mostly they are in deep shadows. So this is the viewpoint that is taken by Spivak. When oppressed people are not allowed to speak for themselves or to have their contributions recognized, in effect, they are completely erased from their place in this world, which means they have no history, and because they cannot speak, and then the women are deeply in shadow, this becomes their condition. And this oppression is caused by power, differences in power, gender, and access to knowledge. These differences show why subaltern women are doubly prejudiced and marginalized. Firstly, as the colonized. This category of marginalization, enforced by the power structure of colonialism, can be substituted with race, class, and caste. Secondly, they are marginalized as women due to gender prejudice. In fact, these institutionalized colonial and patriarchal structures conspire to silence the voices of subaltern women, and female subalterns are less frequently mentioned in record than the male subalterns, making it even more difficult for us to locate their stories. In fact, Betty Friedman, in her book, The Feminine Mystic, 1963, stated this problem as the problem that has no name because she refers to the profound dissatisfaction and a sense of subaltern position experienced by women. This is applicable to many women, both the elite and the marginalized sections, that they find it difficult to discuss their unnamed problems. However, when such women, especially the subaltern female, when they start telling their stories and make the world listen to them, they embark the journey of empowerment, bringing a concrete answer to Spivak's problematized question, can the subaltern speak? In that sense, Canada has seen women writers outnumbering male in fiction writing. For according to Margaret Atwood, women cannot be ignored in Canadian literature. Some of their key traits of subaltern women characters created by these Canadian women writers show that their characters are diverse. Though they are labeled under subaltern, they are not one homogeneous group. Their experiences are diverse. In that sense, the subaltern women characters cannot be singularized. They are plural. And overcoming all the challenges in their life, facing horrible experiences in life, they refuse to be victims. They survive their predicament, and the survival strategies adopted by them to survive their plight actually showcase their agency and achievement. Here, as I have referred to, in Jan's case, she talks about a harmonious communal living in her tribal community till they were forced to face problem of poverty and misery when they are evicted from their land and denied their rights access to the forest. And she started voicing the concerns of her community and her own struggles. And this is how she moves from one state to another state. She starts her journey as an ordinary member of the Kerala Agricultural Workers Union and rises to the level of a tribal feminist activist, fighting tooth and nail against the government to get the rights. She wanted to get back reclaim the rights. And in this case, if we look at her struggle and how she rises herself to a different stage to show her resistance against the government, though she was kept in the object position in the power knowledge nexus, she tries to move away from that object position by constituting herself as a subject.
And as a subject, she fights for the rights. This is where she moves from one position to another by voicing the rights of the subaltern women, and she is challenging their position. This is her case. Now, another case I would like to present is the life writing of Maria Campbell from the indigenous Canadian Métis community. Her memoir titled Half Breed, published in 1973. In this book, she records her plight as a Métis trapper. Okay, what is half breed? Let me explain that. The half breed refer to those who belong to a mixed racial descent, half native and half English. And these mixed race individuals were neglected by both their groups and by the larger society. Hailing from this mixed racial descent, she was born into an underprivileged road allowance community in Canada. She is the oldest of 8 children in her family, and ironically, in terms of race, class, and gender, she qualifies to be a subaltern in one way or the other. This is her life story, her personal narrative. She left school when she was 12 after her mother's death in order to help her father. This is how she becomes a Métis trapper to raise her family. At the age of 15, she gets married to a white man in an attempt to keep the family together, but he becomes violent, denounces authority, and he simply sent away to coastal homes. Subsequently, she moves with her husband to Vancouver, where he abandons her, and she enters into a life of drinking, substance abuse, and prostitution. Twice she attempted suicide and also suffered a nervous breakdown. She was hospitalized and then gets enrolled in the Alcoholics Anonymous program. To avoid straying back to the street, she started writing her personal truth in the form of this memoir titled Half Breed, which narrates the first 33 years of her life. Now, what does writing life stories mean? Writing life stories is an act of self-discovery for an individual. It also becomes an act of ethnic self-definition for that person, because she has to attend the Alcoholics program for lifelong as per the advice of her doctor. So she started forming a community and speaking to others. That is where she felt the need to tell her story, so that she can make it as an act of ethnic self-definition for the community, visual and reality. And it is also a therapeutic process for her to change her life. Such life writings have developed as an alternate venue. That is what happens with the Jamu also. When she moves from object to subject position, she opens up a new avenue that is known as an alternate modernity. This is the pathway she opens for herself and for other subaltern women. The same thing happens with Maria Campbell. When she decides to write about her life. And such life writings have developed an alternate venue for subaltern women to resist against oppression and also to make their voice heard and listen to in the public discourse. So now I will ask you, can writing itself change one's status? That is the first step toward empowerment. So from the condition of this empowerment, when they decide to voice their life as a narrator and make the world listen to their stories, there itself their status quo changes from disempowerment to empowerment. What the word disempowered implies? It implies to be denied the choice. But from that position of denial, when they become empowered, they acquire the ability to make choices. Her choice to write the story. First, she felt the need to write it, and then materializing that into a book and reaching a wider audience. Within the abortional community, there is the Métis, and then non-abortional community, and among the women's book. And today we are talking about this work in another platform, in an academic discourse. This is how their writings make them empowered, because they have the ability to make a choice and voice this is how it expands the ability and the possibilities, and it contains the strategic life choices that they make. In which context? The context is they acquire the ability to make choice, and this is the context, the choice which was denied to them earlier. That is where from disempowered to empowered, they shift themselves. What do you mean by strategic life choices? These are the key points of empowerment that talk about these life choices. Empowering women. That means they are given the ability. This is what feminist movement also demands for women. That they must be able to decide for themselves about their life. That means they must have the ability to choose, to make decisions. They have to have control over their life choices and their resources. This implies power. In terms of the ability to make choice is known as the power here. And this strategic life choices can be in two orders. One is the first order and the second order. Here the first order is mostly concerned with the choice of livelihood. It is the decision we make on where to live, whether to marry or not, whom to marry, whether to have children, how many children to have, and the career decisions that we make, choice of friends, freedom of movement, forms of expression. All these are fundamentally important parameters to live one's life. So they are considered the first order choices. But before we talk about choices, we have to understand, keeping in mind the definition of empowerment. Definition of empowerment also includes within it the condition of disempowerment. What I mean, the condition of disempowerment, empowerment gains a significant degree. And this is not always some choices have very significant in terms of the consequences it has on one's life. This is where we tend to make a decision between the first order choices and the second order choices. First order, obviously, the primary choices that we have to make and this is critical for many to live their lives. These strategic choices actually help to form the second order choices which are less consequential because we may be important for the quality of one's life. But it do not constitute defining parameters, life defining parameters. Here, Gamble has been successful. She becomes empowered because she has been able to make her experience. This is how I understand the notion of empowerment and this discussion and observation that empowerment is only one way condition of this empowerment. Only that is a change of the process variation. As a result, it refers to the processes by which those who have been denied the ability to make choice, how do they acquire such an ability and exercise their choice, resulting in a positive change in their life. And how this change happens, it is a process, but it is something inner. The power within is responsible to effect this change. Obviously, the outcome is an inner transformation because there is a fundamental shift in perception. We have seen how Maria Campbell has wasted her life after she has been abandoned by her husband. So that from there, suddenly she realized within herself that at the age of 33, after spending 33 years of her life, at the age of around 35, she realized it. And this realization came from within. She discovered the power from within, and this inner transformation happened. And at the age of 36, she went this narrative to define her self-interest and to define her choice. Here, what is important is empowerment plus agency. The change that comes from within is known as agency. That is the ability to make choice. This demonstrates how she becomes empowered. Once she exercises the choice, once she realizes the choice, the agency makes her empowered. So agency is the essence of empowerment. That is how we have to understand agency, determines the essence of empowerment, and as a result, there is a positive change in life, which is the achievement and the outcome. So these are all the list of positive outcomes that she has achieved. She first fulfills the need to tell her story, and she could communicate her experiences through writing, and it is heard and listened to by the wider audience. And personally, it is a journey from hopelessness in her life to recovery. Whatever will she recover, that's a theme. And during her existence, she has grown to be tenacious after enduring some suffering. And she redefined not only her individual self, but women's sense of the self has been redefined by her for the community through her writings. This is how she restores the identity of the Aboriginal group and of the Métis women from the inside as an insider, and she reflects change not only at the individual level but also at the societal and group level. This is how sense of agency operates. It encompasses agency, encompasses meaning, motivation, and purpose which individuals bring to their activity. They find attach a meaning and a purpose to their action. It also encompasses collective as well as individual reflection and action. Because she travels a lot after publishing this work, and she published a series of work following that, and has been invited to lecture at numerous conferences and in universities in Canada, USA, and Australia to talk about issues on justice, women and youth in crisis, and on community development. This is how it becomes agency encompasses collective as well as individual reflection and action, as we are doing today by reflecting on this writing. So agency talks about the empowerment can be called as well-being aspect, and the agency aspect of women's movement intersect. This is the intersection that happens. In that sense, women's agency become an important constituent of women's empowerment. This is how they work hand in hand. Some of the dimensions of empowerment here would be, there are three interrelated components here. One is the resources. Resources are the conditions under which the choices are made. And agency, it is the process through which choices are made. And the agency is the heart of the process. And then the result is the achievement, the outcome. Whereas agency is the essence of the empowerment, while resources and achievements talk about the enabling conditions. They refer to the enabling conditions and outcomes of empowerment. And this is the achievement, the condition of the woman, of the half-breed lady, the processes she undergoes, and finally the achievement, the enabling condition with which she made a mark in the society, and how she inspired a lot of First Nations Métis women to become writers. All these are significant examples to show the result of her agency. And this is how in Samajan, the stories of the agency become a source of inspiration because they stand as strong symbols for other women, showcasing their agency and their achievements. Now, from empowerment and agency, and then we have the second element, which is autonomy. In order to listen to their stories, so that the subaltern women's story can be celebrated, there is also a requisite of these three to work together. They need to be empowered, they have to exercise their agency to do that, to realize their autonomy. In that sense, do you think empowerment and autonomy are fairly similar? Yeah, some might consider so, but the difference do exist between empowerment and agency. Yes, the strong sense of self-identity. I know you how she works as a strong symbol of womanhood, strong symbol with a sense of self-esteem and carrying the identity of the community forward. So this strong sense of self-identity is a prerequisite to attain autonomy. But what's the difference between empowerment and autonomy? Empowerment here means a process. Okay, it is a process where the individual moves from one state to another. Here, let me give you personalized examples from the institution which holds this conference. Take Madam Principal. From professor, she climbed to the leadership position, the managerial position she is occupying now. It's a process. It is a change from one state to another, which makes us call her as an empowered woman, because there is a change that is happening in her state and she is moving from one state to another. And during my tenure in the college till 2005, and that time Madam Zainabi is known as Mrs. Zainabi, holding MA and MPhil degree, but now in the brochure she is addressed as Dr. Zainabi. That is a state of empowerment. And this empowerment for male and female, I can talk about Dr. Rajesh Naidu. At that time he was the principal, but now he is a director. So this is how the process continues in the lives of individuals. And take Dr. S. Balasubramaniam, fondly called as SBS. Now he is a member in the Senate of the university. This is the process. He is not only a professor, but he is also representing the voice of the college and the university as a member in the Senate. That is the process of growth from one state to another state. And this is how we are constantly empowering ourselves by moving from one state to another state with positive outcomes. Now you can give your applause for the empowered faculty, the empowered director, empowered principals that the college has, and the enabling conditions that the college gave us during and all times, then and now, the enabling working conditions. Because when we talk about empowerment, obviously we talk about the work condition also, the work environment. Always it has been an enabling condition to work in the college. And here in 1999-2000, it was a large group. We had a large group of male and female working together with the love and friendship and cooperation and companionship. That's how we are empowered to work in such an enabling condition and enabling atmosphere to reduce the outcome. This is where all the dimensions of empowerment come into play, such as resources, agency, empowerment. Whereas autonomy, contrary to this, is a static state. So there is no progression when we talk about autonomy. This is the fundamental difference some scholars do hold. This is one view that we can take into account. Now, applying this view to the text that we have discussed and to the life narrative, the individuals whom we have discussed, whom we have seen and taken as examples, are empowered subaltern women, because though they faced humiliation and wrath with such bitter experiences in life, they transformed their shame and rage, and they became empowered by the act of writing. So that is the medium they used to communicate. They harnessed through the act of writing, they harnessed the power of writing to voice themselves, to find agency and to find voice for themselves. What is central to the concept of power here is the ability to make choice. And the informed choices that we make in life are going to enable the individual to be empowered. But how to translate this change into a full-fledged empowerment? Empowerment itself is a process of change. But in order to make it more meaningful and a sustainable process, it must encompass at both individual and structural levels. When I talk about the structural dimension of choice, it operates through rules, norms, and the practices in different institutions to determine the resources, the agency, and achievements available to different groups of individuals in a society. However, the action and choices of individuals can act on structural. It can change the structural constraints. When I say it can act on structural constraints, they can change the structural constraints by modifying and transforming them to create an enabling condition for women to rise. Such a conceptualization of empowerment suggests that it can reflect change at a number of possible levels. Eventually, empowerment is seen as a form of social change. And this processual understanding of social change is termed as open-ended, and this is how women and girls empowerment work, with resources, agencies, and institutional structures on the one hand, where the institutional structures need to be modified and transformed for the betterment of the heart of the population, that is women folk, for their empowerment and decision making, the ability to make choices, the ability to control their resources and decide for their life, and the collective action. It is not just on the individual level. We have seen how collectively it's making things more productive. It is a participative development that can make them the leaders of the future world, because future is for girls and women. That's the futurity which is before them. It is awaiting them to make informed choices and to become significant leaders to contribute for the welfare of the society and the nation by modifying the institutional structures to make an enabling atmosphere to rise and to become a rising movement. So constantly we need to shape and mold, and we have to come together for this collective action, amplify our voice, and then make the right choice to fight for our rights, and together we can reach the goal. Okay, that is set on this Women's Day, to reach the heights and achieve our goals with all our might. So with these words, let me conclude this talk. I am very pleased to share my little thoughts with all of you. Hope it has inspired and made sense and resonates with the theme of the conference. Thank you, one and all. Wish you a very happy and a fruitful deliberations in this conference. Happy Women's Day also. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chitra ma'am. Now it is time to hear Dr. Komal ma'am. I invite Dr. Priya, Assistant Professor, Department of Corporate Citizenship, to introduce a guest of honor for the plenary session. Please, ma'am.
Thank you so much. My voice is clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, my voice is clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it is audible, ma'am. Ma'am, let me first introduce your honor, ma'am, and then we will start the session, ma'am.
Should I proceed?
Ma'am, 2 minutes, ma'am, 2 minutes. Let me first introduce you, ma'am.
Excuse me, should I start?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So very good afternoon to just 5 minutes to go for the afternoon. So I'll just wish morning and very good afternoon. I'll start my address with Maya Angelou, civil rights activist quote. She mentioned, "I'm grateful to be a woman, and I must have done something great in another life." I think I, as Professor Komal Adeshji, Faculty of Arts, Manipal University, Jaipur, do feel proud to be a woman and wish everyone present here, to all the distinguished dignitaries, the organizers, faculty members, dear students, happy Women's Day. Now this one-day international conference on retrofitting and sustainability in women's autonomy is a great occasion to celebrate the spirit of womanhood, the strength, resilience in every way. In fact, according to me, every day is a great day to celebrate the amazing women in our life. But yes, today's day, the International Women's Day, gives an extra reason to do that. We remember the contribution of women in every sphere of life, which is of course massive. We commemorate women's contributions in different fields, and we get a chance to recognize and appreciate women for all their hard work, dedication, their efforts, not only to maintain their lives, but the lives of others, every person around them. That is why we say it's an occasion we have to acknowledge the value and importance of women in the lives of our family as well as the country. I will say that every woman here is a hero. It means the female hero, the female inspiration, a woman admired or idolized for her courage, outstanding achievements, or noble qualities, a real heroine. In fact, we deserve all this and some. We are fortunate now that we have the opportunities that our mothers and grandmothers, they could not even dream of. So we have to celebrate it. Modern women is no longer dependent on men for their vital needs. They have come out of the private domain and we are now in public domain. We are strong, we are confident, we are capable of doing something equal to men, even in the army. But we must respect each of them, not just because she's a woman, but because she has her own identity. And sometimes we forget it. In fact, yesterday there was an IPS officer who had been invited to my university. So she said he had very few, like when he was recruited, that there were very few Havaldars there. So one woman was appointed Havaldar, but her duty was just to serve tea, just to serve water to the people who were entering the police station. So we have to change that. We have to respect women. Even when the women in your institute, they are having any leadership responsibility, other women have the duty to support. Otherwise, they will say, oh, she was a woman, she was not able to handle her responsibilities. So now we are being given equal opportunities as work. We are, in fact, running ahead of men. And the construction which we have given towards society has immensely increased. We are not confined to household chores only. We are contributing to the organization. We are working through it. We are breaking all the glass ceilings around the world. We are not just child bearers only. We are educated. We understand what's happening around us. We believe in rule of law, about democracy. We have knowledge of international human rights system. But the autonomy of women campaign, it is not just now only, but it started in 1908, and women started agitating for greater equality and less oppressive working conditions in the streets of New York City. And they were demanding better pay, shorter hours, and voting rights. So the first National Women's Day was celebrated in 1909, but UN officially declared it Women's Day 8th March in 1977. So this is the day when we have to ponder whatever the actions we can take to promote gender inequality and celebrate women's achievements. Even in India, we had many reformers such as Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chandra, Vidyasagar, Jyoti Rao Phule, who fought for the betterment of women. And it was in 1917 that the first women's delegation met the Secretary of the State to demand women's political rights. But actually we had afterward, there was a social change. In 1929, the Child Marriage Restraint Act was passed, and it was only after the independence of this country that women in India actually attained certain kind of autonomy. So we are now participating fully in sports. Like I was in Haryana, I could see that the girls in that school were doing extremely well in all the competitive exams, in sports, and that is why they could raise their voice. If they didn't want to get married at early age, that they could raise their voice and say no. So we are now participating fully in education, sport, politics, media, art, science. Chandrayaan, when the Chandrayaan was there, the launching of that, we could see many women scientists there. In the technology also. Still, we have a long way to go. Till they say, we just give the example of our former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, who served as the Prime Minister of India for more than 15 years, the world's longest serving woman Prime Minister. So we still have a long way to go. Even UN, this time in 2024, they have given the observance of the day as invest in women, accelerate progress. And this is very much true. You will see in your family also. Whenever the woman gets any financial help, or she earns, or she gets money, she wants to spend that money for the family, for the children, for the husband, for in-laws. But when it comes to men, we generally hear that, going out with friends and having drinks and all. But that is not the case with women. But how come that UN, World Economic Forum's Global Gender Gap says, that is the report of 2023, that it will take another 131 years to reach gender parity? We have Sustainable Development Goals of United Nations. They mention that we have to achieve gender equality. We have to empower women and girls by 2030. But how to happen this faster? We have this International Women's Day today. We have to continue fight for women's rights and autonomy. Because for ages, men had the privileges in every sphere of society. Now also, when both husband and wife are working, even if the wife is earning not less than husband, the moment they reach home, it's the husband who takes off his shoes and starts watching TV. And the woman rushes to the kitchen. Although she is also exhausted, equally exhausted. So that needs to be changed, because we all are humans. We should have equal rights and opportunity. When we speak about gender equality, we have to promote women's rights. We have to talk about the progress of women. Because when we talk about progress of women, we talk about the progress of the family, and ultimately it empowers the country. We are seeing that in Parliament also, many MPs are now women. We see in our boardrooms, we see in our workplaces, institutes, internet, social media. There is a great achievement. But the thing is, in raising women's economic empowerment, political participation, decision-making power, and we have to see the progress in education and health of a woman, we have to strengthen. So we have so many, progressive laws and regulations are there. The moment to conceive the child, and suppose she's a girl, she's in the womb, her right starts from there only. We have legalized abortion also within the legal framework. Once the child comes out, we have Child Restraint Marriage Act. When the child is growing up, we have all sorts of crimes under IPC which are punishable. When she starts working, we have all constitutional rights also. When she starts working, we have forced. She gets married, we have bullying for beaten. We have Domestic Violence Act. But still, we have not been able to prevent violence against women. We have not been able to prevent the rapes being committed, and every day we hear some or other women being raped in some or other part of the country. Women are beautiful creations of God. They are human beings. They have legal rights to live with human dignity. And yes, the Constitution of India recognizes this. But they have not been adequately enforced even after so many years of independence. On the contrary, the women are being exploited, abused. Their rights are being violated. And it is, harsh reality that women are treated in every society like this for aging. She is deprived of her identity and is just considered the property of a father, husband, or son. Most of the husbands do not, take her as a life partner. We generally hear that behind every successful man there is a woman. But we find very few men who can come forward and say that behind this woman's success, I was there. So in order to protect women from violence, exploitation, and to promote their rights, government has enacted several criminal and civil and labor laws. But the problem is we are not fully aware of the provisions. So that is why we are not able to assert the rights. Pandit Nehru ji said, legislation alone cannot by itself solve deep-rooted social problems. One has to approach them in other ways too. But the thing is, legislation is necessary and essential so that it can give the push. Some of the social legislation I would just briefly throw light upon so that all the women understand that we can experience justice, we can experience liberty, equality, human dignity, as is mentioned in our preamble itself. The Constitution of India, it starts from Article 14, which says equality before law and equal protection of law. It prohibits on the ground of religion, race, caste, sex, any kind of discrimination. Similarly, Article 15 also says that discrimination should not be there against any citizen, only on the basis of religion, race, caste, but again sex is mentioned there. And we have under Article 15, Clause 3, we have the state to create special provisions for women and children because we know that they are the vulnerable sections of the society. They have to be brought in the mainstream. Now, 16 also gives equality of opportunity for all men and women in case of employment or appointment. I have just mentioned few fundamental rights, but there are directive principles also, where the state is directed to keep its policy towards securing for men and women equally the right of adequate means of livelihood, that is under Article 39. There should be equal pay for equal work for both men and women. And Article 39A directs the state. It says it has to promote justice. It has to give equal opportunity. It has to give free legal aid. So that the justice is not denied to any citizen because of any kind of disability. The state is again under article directed to, secure justice and humane conditions of work and for maternity relief. We have a fundamental duty also, which says Article 51 that every citizen has the duty to renounce any practice which is derogatory to the dignity of women. The major change in the constitution was brought by 73rd Amendment when we started giving reservation of seats of women in panchayats and municipalities. We have to give 1/3 of total number of seats there. But still, what is the news every day? That the woman has been elected sarpanch, but the real power is with the husband. So we talk about women's independent procurement empowerment. So somewhere we have to see the reality and improve there. So even if there is some kind of embezzlement required by a husband, he becomes liable. We have many crimes under Indian Penal Code where we have identified them which are being committed against women, whether it is sentencing, outrages, acid attack, all these have been defined. Acid attacks we never used to mention earlier, but we have too many cases. So it was in 2013 the amendment was made, and the amendment resulted in insertion of sections for specifically dealing with acid violence. And it was not confined to that only. Even the compensation is now payable by the state government, in addition to the payment of fine to the victim. Even our National Legal Services Authority mentioned that now it is not just that certain crimes are being committed against women, but we are giving them the compensation also for any kind of loss or injury, whether it is gang rape, whether it is rape, whether it is any kind of physical injury, whether there are victims of acid attack. If there is any kind of sexual harassment and outraging the modesty of women, again we have under Indian Penal Code such acts being punished. And we have now rigorous punishment for these crimes, whether it is sexual harassment, whether it is any kind of, colorful remark. We have defined sexual harassment also there. It is not just the physical contact. It can be request for sexual favor. It can be making any sexually colored remark. It can be forcibly showing certain kind of pornography. Any unwelcome physical, verbal or non-verbal conduct of sexual nature. So we have identified the crime, whether it is assault or use of criminal force to women, whether it is voyeurism, whether it is stalking. All the young girls, I think, are now familiar. When a man follows a woman or contacts or attempts to contact her to foster personal interaction, or whether it is on internet, in email or any form of electronic communication, this crime is now punishable. Any gesture against a woman, any kind of sound with the intention that is intruding her privacy, with the intention of insulting her modesty, has been criminalized. And it's not that you have to feel any kind of fear. The procedure is also very simple. You just have to file a complaint immediately with the nearest police station. Now, the most heinous crime which is committed against women is rape, the sexual assault. Although we have, expanded the definition of rape because we wanted that heinous crime perpetrator to be punished. But the problem is, we look down upon the victim, and society is still like that. The girl feels very scared to report it to the police because she thinks that her character will be questioned and she will be made responsible for what has happened. And we could see that in Nirvya's case also. People were questioning what was she doing with that guy all alone in the evening. And instead of having some sort of sympathy with her and thinking how to rehabilitate her, we give her a bad name. We give the family also a bad name. And who are we? We are the educated ones. This is a sad story. So we have now that the absence of in this enough constitutes a crime of rape. Even a husband can be guilty of rape of his wife if the wife is less than 18 years of age. So the law is now very strict. Regard to offences of rape, sexual assault. Still, every day we read in the newspaper recently a Spanish woman was raped. Although we have rigorous punishment. And they are causing death, I think in vegetative state of victim, the punishment is not less than 20 years. And it may extend to imprisonment for life. Then also, there is less, the rate of number of cases is not reduced. Once the girl gets married, I just said, following Prohibition Act, domestic violence, some of the acts have limited impact on the society. We still see dowry deaths. And in fact, with time it has increased. Because people have become more flamboyant. The marriage takes place for 4-5 days. So then the dowry demand is there. The dowry demand, the parents sometimes take the loan. And the worst thing is that whatever the dowry is given, sometimes it is put up at the menu so that everyone can see that we are giving a fat dowry to the girl. So remember, if there is any kind of criminal law case that is menace of dowry, then we have to pursue. And if any police officer, I want to just convince everyone, refuses to register FIR, then victim can meet or send a copy of the complaint in writing to the Deputy Commissioner of Police. And if the action is still not taken, she can file the complaint before the magistrate also. And the helpline number, I think everyone knows, it is 100, and National Women Helpline number is 181. Now once she gets married, we have Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act, which recognizes a life free of violence. And it puts the onus on the state to protect women against domestic violence. And we have broadened the definition of domestic violence. It is not just physical abuse or sexual abuse only. It is also verbal and emotional abuse. It is also including economic abuse. And the domestic relationship also we have increased under the Act by including mother, wife, sisters-in-law, daughters-in-law. So we have, I just talked about many laws which are there to protect women. And one of them, important one is trafficking of women. We have that it includes, it is for forced labor or forced sex. We have a law also under the Indian Penal Code also. We have certain sections dealing with it, which has to stop the human trafficking. We have a particular act also, the Immoral Traffic Prevention Act 1986, which punishes any person who is inducing or taking the person for the sake of prostitution, whether the consent is there or not. Before joining Manipal University, I was in Haryana in SRM University for 2 years. So it was very sad to see the kind of honor killing happening. And you can see in other parts of the country also. So they think that the victim has brought shame to the family, had violated the principles of community or religion. She should have gone for arranged marriage. But the Supreme Court has again and again mentioned that the honor killing is nothing honorable about it. They are illegal. Even the Khap Panchayat or assemblies of village elders cannot interfere in marriage between two consenting adults. And again, you just have to file a complaint in the nearest police station. When a woman is young, we have protection of children from sexual offences, POCSO Act. Again, it is a very big legal framework which protects the children from offences of sexual assault, sexual harassment, pornography, and it safeguards the interest of the child at every stage. So I just want to know, and the one which I do not want to miss is sexual harassment of women at workplace, POSH Act 2013. But have we got any result? It all started with Vishakha versus State of Rajasthan in 1997. But still, the sexual harassment cases are there. And if the inquiry is there in the institute, it is very embarrassing for a woman to be asked, what were you wearing? Why were you alone with the man? We have, expanded the definition of employee also under the POSH Act. We include not only regular, but temporary ones also employees, ad hoc ones also, daily wages also. But still, it is unappealing. We have expanded the definition of workplace also, because we could see during COVID, the women workers being harassed online. So we said work from home. That is any place visited by employee arising out of or during the course of employment, including the transportation provided by the employer, will be the place of employment. We have in every institute, your institute also must be having the internal committee. But somewhere we have to make it a reality, so that when the woman has come out of private domain, we have to make sure that she feels safe. There are lots of cyber crimes also against women. I think I just won't go into detail. There is harassment through email, cyber stalking is there, cyber defamation is there, cyber bullying is there. But I just want to convey to all the participants that you must take few measures for online safety. Please keep an eye for phony email messages. Do not respond to messages which ask for personal information. And have your email address protected. You must have strong passwords. So now we have another, very important vertical the US does not have. That is abortion or termination of pregnancy. We have under Indian Penal Code also, where the miscarriage involved without woman's consent, punishable. We have Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act, 1971, which allows us, even the US does not give this right to women, but we have given this right, termination of certain pregnancies by registered medical practitioners. And forcing a woman to terminate pregnancy is illegal. But still the parents claim to have a son. We see many women, being tortured for this thing that they have not given birth to boys. I just want to let you know, briefly I have discussed many laws. We have as rights as prisoners also. But the thing is, we have National Commission for Women also, which is to represent the rights of women in India. And it provides a voice for their concerns, for their issues. But where are we lacking? The International Women's Day, it gives us this opportunity to reflect what remains to be done. What is the road ahead? Recently, the National Crime Reports Bureau reveals that there is a big surge in crimes against women in India. More than 4,45,000 cases were registered in 2022 alone. And imagine that is 51 FIR every hour. That's a grim picture. Women are still not paid equally for work. Women are still not in decision-making roles. Whether it is in our parliament, still we do not have much voice there. And even in the family, women's voices are still absent. So we need to redouble our effort. We have to go by this thing that the gross crime faced by women, how do we go about it that this comes all together, stopped? Now, if the domestic violence, topmost crime committed against women as per National Crime Record Bureau. Now, where does it happen? It happens inside the privacy of home. So she is not even safe within the four walls of the house. It shows the deep-seated misogyny in our culture. We have to, nobody can run fast on one leg. We have to have women's representation across all cultural, social, economic and political situations. And this is the way we are going to change the society. We have to make her equal in decision making. We must promote women's entrepreneurship to make her economically empowered. We must have our policies which increase women entrepreneurs and their access to finance and digital technology. We have to have active participation of women in leadership and decision making. We have to strengthen women's capability. And we have to have more gender-based, gender-sensitive policies. And all of you who have gathered today, I would like all of you to take a pledge to educate one girl who can be daughter of your own, worker, whether at home or at your workplace. And I want that girl to become a hero, a male hero. Love who you are, be confident, and people will give you respect for that. We are continuing our fight for women's rights, and this is each year when we celebrate International Women's Day, we are just continuing that fight. We are just rejuvenating our efforts, to create a future where the girls grow in an environment where they are equal partners. Whether it is economic, political, social, or structural inadequate representation. Let it be a discrimination. Let the world there be no discrimination and violence against women. And if together women create this world, and of course with the help of men, we proudly hand over to our next generation a beautiful world where there is no kind of discrimination or violence against women. So I think we all need this kind of celebration where we can renew our efforts to promote gender parity. And what UN says that it will take 131 years, but if we keep having, proactive roles if we play, somewhere that 131 years period will be reduced. So thank you so much, and I'm extremely grateful to the organizers for giving me this opportunity to present my views. I myself, I'll just, end my address. I submitted my PhD at the age of 55. In fact, my examiner who came to take my viva, although I had at that time already 20 years teaching experience, but because of my family responsibility, I could not pursue PhD. But I didn't give up my dream. So this dream every girl should pursue and should never give up. Age does not matter. So thank you so much. I hope I have inspired all the girls here, all the women here to continue our fight against discrimination and all sort of violence against. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. That was an amazing, powerful, and wonderful speech from our Honorable Guest, Dr. Komal, ma'am. Ma'am, we are very proud to have you for this session, ma'am. Your speech was so powerful for us and so emotionalized too. Thank you very much, ma'am, for showering about your knowledge on us. Thank you, Komal, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Now, we are ready to present the tribute for women, a small video which is prepared by the Gender Cell, especially for the women. Okay, so it is a tribute from Gender Cell for the women empowerment. Sita ma'am, so now we came to the end of the second session. We'll have the lunch break. I request the gathering to partake to the lunch, which is arranged in the auditorium backside. Our next session, upcoming session is paper presentation. I request the presentees for the to be prepared with your presentation as well. Okay. I request the participants to take 20 to 30 minutes. Preferably. Okay. Thank you. Catch you soon.
பிரியா 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 என்ன இருக்கடா
ஸ்கிரீன் மட்டும் ஆஃப் பண்ணி விட்டுவா. ஓடுனே இருக்குமா? இல்ல ஆஃப் பாஸ் பண்ணிடுவா. பாஸ் பண்ண முடியுமா?
இங்க பென் பண்ணிடுவோம். மீண்டும் வருவோம்.